Hello, my name is Isaac Knapp, and today I'm going to tell you guys about storytelling theory. Storytelling has been around for more than 36,000 years, beginning as soon as people were able to draw on cave walls. Storytelling has been a form of communication throughout the ages and has been a driver of knowledge and creativity. Today, I'm going to explain the importance of telling stories, as well as how to best pick the story for any audience. When was the last time you read a book for fun? Can you remember what it was like? Personally, when I read, I lose track of what I'm reading, and instead create whatever world is being described in my head and play it out like a movie. A similar phenomenon occurs when verbally told a story as well. According to the New York Times, telling a story is an effective form of information output because when the brain is told a story, it has trouble discerning fact from fiction, allowing an immersive experience along with a moral or whatever data is included. This means that when your audience is told a story, it will engage them and let them expand it in their minds, as well as becoming more receptive to your message. Not only does this allow your audience to become more receptive, it also empowers them to act, which is the point of any presentation. People tend to be driven by emotion. According to Jane Prager, a professor at Columbia's University Strategic Communications and Communications Practice Program, says that we like to believe that we are logical, but in fact, we use data and facts to post-rationalize our decisions that have been made by emotions already. By using a strong story that propels people's heartstrings, you can effectively compel to go out and do X, Y, or Z. Using stories and presentations can make even the dullest information much more enjoyable and lead your audience to follow what you're saying, but only if your story fits your presentation. Have you ever had this happen to you? You go to your parents to tell them a story about something that recently happened. Some new song dropped, a cool game was released, or drama between your two favorite people in the world. After you finish telling your parents your story, your parents are just extremely confused, forcing you to either explain every single minute detail and word in your story, or just say never mind and walk away. This is an example of a failed story. To avoid this annoying and awkward situation, here's a few steps you can take to avoid this. First, know your audience. In the scenario I just told, one mistake was that the parents' background information was either overlooked or misunderstood. My personal experience using a lot of pop culture references and modern language leads to confusion with my parents because they don't understand what it means. This applies to any presentation. We can consider these phrases and references as jargon, which is defined as special words or expressions that are used by a particular profession or group and are difficult for others to understand. The use of jargon is usually a pitfall in presentations. A study by New York University tested the effect that jargon had on audiences. The results showed that these technical phrases were used, audiences became more confused and were unable to understand what was being explained. In short, don't give a college-level lecture with college-level words to a class of second graders. Once you have your audience pegged and your language chosen, it's time to guide the end point of your story. Imagine you were to get up in front of a group of mathematicians and give a presentation on how numbers can save an endangered animal. Your goal would be to get these mathematicians to get up and to save these endangered animals with math. Therefore, you begin your story involving your aunt making a zip line out of twine and Lego people. Your audience doesn't know what's going on. It doesn't make any sense at all. How did they get to zip lines, Legos, and your aunt? Dave Peratti, a presentation expert and winner of the PowerPoint Most Valuable Professional Award, argues that the biggest problem with business presentations is not boredom, but rather confusion. Avoid this confusion at all costs. You can struggle through boring and long presentations, but irreversible damage is caused when you confuse your audience. Now that you have your audience identified and have a clear purpose for your story, you are fully ready to spice up your presentation. Storytelling is incredibly important in a presentation because it engages your audiences and it can even make the dullest information more exciting, and it allows them to clearly understand what you're trying to convey. In order to achieve this, you must avoid confusion by fully understanding your audience and selecting information they will understand, and focusing your story to a desired point that will lead to your audience's understanding. I hope you see the value of storytelling and feel confident you can successfully implement them into your next presentation. Thank you.